Am I ready? I don't know. I'm not even in the game.
We should be live now?
We're live now?
I hope we're live now. Anyways, hello everybody and welcome to the Gopherwatch League Week 3 match that we're going to be hosting today. I am your caster slash host, War, and I'm joined by the amazing and very, very talented Invictus. Invictus, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well tonight, War. Thank you for bringing me on and letting me be your co-caster for tonight's match. Tonight we got kind of a zinger. We got the Cats versus the Cats. I mean, the Chicago Cats versus the Pokhara Pusheens.
What even is a Pusheen? Is a
No,
Pusheen a
I,
cat?
is that like a? I feel like that's specifically the cat that's in their logo. That's like a specific branded cat.
Okay, so
I'm not sure.
but the other cat, like the cats are more vague, but the
hmm
Pusheens are like more specific, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so like the Cats is like a general term, like an all-encompassing term. And the Pusheens is like one specific type of cat.
Okay, okay, I switched my mic. I sound different now. That's just how
Oh,
it goes.
different mic war.
Different
Okay.
mic board, different mic board. Things have changed up, and maybe our expectations will change up on this cast here. I know people have sort of had the cats very, very low on their rankings, and the Pusheens very, very high in the rankings. I believe they both are. Oh, no, the cats are 0-2, and the Pusheens are 1-1. I believe, if that's correct.
Yeah, that should be right because no one's played their third matches yet. Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
Cats having a bit of a legacy of perhaps being cursed. They have a couple of players that are in situations that just they never win. It seems like the cat's curse could be real, but they can prove us wrong right here. Usually, what happens is they take every team to map 5 and they can't close out the last one. But I'd love to see the cats do well. I want to see etc. pop off these games.
Yeah, prediction wise, what are you expecting from these games? Because obviously, I mean, the Cats have not yet to win a match, and I know some people on this team haven't won a Go for Watch League match in about 5 to 6 months. So, what do you expect here? Could we see a Cats win in this week?
Hmm, that's a bit of a tough question to answer. I think I mean I've played against the Pusheens in the past. You and I have. They're not a pushover team. They're definitely really strong, especially on their specialist double shield comp. Ugh.
Yeah, gross. Imagine being double shield.
And just double shield being the way that it is, it makes it a lot harder for Etc. to get value on his main character, Widowmaker. So it would be really hard to tell until we go into a match and we see how the cats are doing on maybe like a brawl comp, right? Or maybe like switching something up, maybe having some information on how to beat the double shield comp that the Pushings have.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely gonna see. I think if the pushings are down, I think they'll definitely go for double shield in any given situation because I mean they were so dominant on Havana against us. There's just so much cover and they can really operate however they want whenever they play double shield. So I'm just interested to see if they're going to fall back on double shield or they're gonna have to switch up, do something different, and then cat strategy wise, what do you think about the tank line of Cathecton Oaks and exactly what they can do to counter this double shield potentially?
Well, I know Cathect and Oaks have been, or Ox have been very strong tanks in the past. Uh, Going into this match, I have faith that the tank line that of Cathect and Ox can be a lot more stable uh, than the Pushins, but something like Mikey, with the incredible carry potential that he has on multiple characters, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Maybe I'm too low on the cats, and maybe I need to give them the benefit of the doubt.
An interesting lineup here. We're actually seeing, I believe, Page on DPS. Is this typical here for the
Mm,
cats?
I think they've run a few maps with Page on DPS. Uh, I don't know if it's typical. I think it just kind of depends on the map that they're playing. So, etc. and Page on the DPS. You would expect etc. to maybe try the Widow in downtown, but maybe every map other than the Inside Diva mech base. But I don't. I would expect etc. to play Cassidy, and they would play the Brawl on that Inside Mecha base.
Yeah, either way, no matter what happens, Busan really gives a good sort of like outlook on what we can expect for the rest of the night because there's some maps where more of a brawl is favored, some maps where more of a dive is favored. There seems like all sorts of maps here that these players can sort of feel out the opposing team, and then
Absolutely.
from that, if you end up losing, which I mean nobody wants to lose the first map anyways, but if you do end up losing, then you're going to be able to take what you learned, analyze, and then pick a next map as the next map being hybrid. You can pick a next map based off that, but we are going into the game here. Busan is the map, and we have the Cats versus the Pusheens.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing etc. on this map on the Widowmaker. I know him as a bit of a mechanical god. He's one of the best hit scans in this league right now. I want to see him pop off on this map.
Yeah, I'm ready to see it, but I mean, pop-off potential all around in this map. I believe, I mean, everybody had to play through this map, but I mean, Widowmaker probably the most powerful pick here, but actually not even going with Widowmaker, making the switch over to Cassidy, and it looks like we're gonna have very interesting comps from both of these teams. We get to see Purple Jesus on the ball, as well as I don't even know what comp I should call. Oh, maybe more of like a dive composition from the Cats here. And
Looks
yeah,
more
what
like
do
a
you think?
six-man, right? So you would expect the Cats to be going in that right side inside area first off. And on the Pusheens, I mean, the Ball Diva, that is, yeah, quite a divey with that stable Cassidy for the back.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. Yeah, we're gonna have to see if the Cats can sort of avoid the dive of the Pusheens in this map here. No trades have come out yet, but the Cats are doing a great job of sticking together, sticking as sort of like a six-man death ball, one would call it, and not really leaving each other's side, even though they do have the mobility to do so. They're not going to, because they're able to create so much space with each other. Purple Jesus are just on the high ground, looking to sort of create as much space as they can, but it's really hard to create space when you have these antis coming in from Nuttier. Nuttier already almost to his ultimate, and Cass, ACC on Cass, I gotta say, almost to the ultimate as well. Bomb comes out from Reboot, but the Deadeye hits first, takes out basically everybody in that situation, but ETC gets traded back. Papa Tree stays there on the point to stabilize, and now the Cats have taken control of the point with both support ults.
Wow, that was an amazingly fast, a blazingly fast high noon from etc. And he pops it, gets two, holds down the point for his team. The whole entire objective of their team was they were just rushing to the point as six, and they just bunkered down. The Nano Blade is already out though.
Nano, but
not have Blade.
No Nano, but no Blade. I think just basically dry Nano, and you're not gonna really be able to find something with that. Maybe a miscommunication from the Pusheens lineup. Either way, mines were also invested in that fight, but nothing really came from that fight. Now the Dry Blade here, maybe able to find something on their support line, forces them to back up. They find ETC, that's the pick they need, but Oaks gets the trade back as well. Mikey going on an absolute tear though, shows that they don't even need the Nano. Oaks with the bomb coming out, finds Mikey, and the remake. Oh my gosh, Oaks, you're going absolutely insane. Finds the final kills right there to clean it up, and the Cats are able to stabilize on the point.
Wow. This is a really good look for the Cats right now. They're soaking up these ultimates, and they're living through all of them, and they're coming back with their own and hitting them back. This is looking great for the Cats so far. Both teams looking kind of low on the ultimates, although etc. is coming up on another high noon. Rally comes out from Rocks.
Yeah, Rally's great way to get themselves on point and should be able to let the Pusheens at least stabilize on the point. Some antis out from Nuttier, and that's going to enable the pick from Nathan onto ETC. That's really the pick they need in this situation. Mikey finding another one on a Papa Triste. Paige gets one back on a Nuttier, though, but now the point has completely flipped. They weren't even able to really stall out the point, and now this seems like a lost fight for the Cats that you just have to reset in.
Well, the Cats are coming up on their ultimates. They didn't invest too much into that fight, while the Pusheens, my apologies, used their rally, which is almost an automatic win button in these games. They do have both tank ults in the bomb. I want to see how the mines are used as well.
But I like from the Pusheens that they use one ult to win it all, but can one ult win it all with somebody like ETC? No, gets stuck in the minefield. The Deadeye completely denied there by Purple Jesus. Beautiful placement there. A Nano Blade actually coming out in this situation, but Transflex with the beat to sort of cancel out the value. No, value's not even going to get canceled. Mikey just lighting up the kill feed right now. Finds one, finds two, finds three. Cats are forced to reset. Luckily, only, actually no, 2 ults used from, or 2 to 3 ults used from the Cats, but I think it was more ults used from the Pusheens, which may allow the Cats to have a chance to recontest here.
Right on. The Cats are coming back with that Coalescence in the EMP and the Monkey ult. I want to see how they use this EMP. They need to coordinate it properly. Consider it on low. Picked off early.
Actually going to use the Coalescence to initiate here, but not really able to find anything as the Cats players are just going down in the feed, but switch it up real quick. Now the Pusheens sort of falling down. It's going to be a 4-4 fight on the point. It's going to be an absolute brawl, but Paige ending the brawl with the EMP, allowing them to shut down the Pusheens. But no, it's only Mikey lighting up the feed. Deflect comes through, just denying any space, any control, and the Pusheens have full control at this point. Cats just forced to reset here. They made the switch on the ball, and Diva remeching, but they need to find a way to contest. No, they don't even contest, and the point goes over to the Pusheens.
It just looks like that EMP was a bit too late for the team engaged, and it ended up just not getting enough value. I mean, the Pusheens already got 2 picks by the time the EMP came out. At that point, you're EMPing into a almost lost fight. You're trying to clutch that up. You just need to use the EMP earlier and hopefully communicate with that with your team.
Yeah, but expectations going on to Sanctuary here. I mean, despite, you know, the Pusheens catches holding it from 0 to 100, it was very, very close. And we do get to see a little look into the comps here. It's going to be a basically mirrored comp between these two teams. But what do you think? Who has the advantage here on Sanctuary, I believe?
Well, I'm still, honestly, I'm really high on the Mikey Genji. He's been getting multi-kills in the kill feed and just winning these fights for his team. Paige might need to be the one that shuts him down and hacks him every time he goes in, but Paige
Just off the map. I mean, I don't think that's the way they wanted to start the fight. Yeah, I think that was completely accidental there. DPS diff was dropped in the chat, and it looks like the team diff is going to be dropped in the kill feed right here as Mikey just basically cleaning up the Cats. At that point, you just got to reset, and that's really not the way you want to start the map. I know Paige went down early, and they're just able to easily control the point now.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of targets that Sombra can farm off of. That fight just really puts a damper on your team's ability to, you know, play around EMP, which is Sombra's strongest ability. I mean, Paige is at 24% to her EMP now.
Yeah, the only one who looks even close to their ultimate on the Cats is ETC, and needs it to come online very, very soon because Nanoblade is about to come online for the Pusheens, and you know how powerful that can be in the hands of Mikey, and looks like it is ready to be activated at any point in time. You're going to see it used early here to sort of find some picks, but no,
down by
ETC. That was absolutely insane and critical in the picks coming through. They're not even going to need to use an ultimate here. They're just going to walk onto point. The Cats have full control. Purple Jesus trying to stabilize, find whatever last semblance of a contest you can find, but it's going to be so hard against the Cats lineup, and the Cats do a great job of flipping the point there and just denying any push. They didn't use a single ult in that fight, and they made the Pusheens waste too.
That was an incredible read from Etc. Noticing that Genji wanted to go in for the blade, having the perfect roll, and then flash to avoid the slash. Just incredible. Great job from him.
When you get incredible reads like that, I mean, when you get the compliment from somebody like Invictus, you cannot complain about that. Unfortunately, ETC did go down, but the Zen ult there to sort of stabilize the team, and they're only going to use one. They're only going to use one ult, lose one player, and it's not really going to matter in the end. Ult's coming online for both these teams, though.
Yeah, it seems like the Cats are still stocking up ultimates. Only use Transcendence there, but the Pusheens are also coming up on their own. They're going to have some big rally, maybe, coming up soon. No Nano Blade coming up though, so they're gonna need to win without that.
In my opinion, really going to be in the back of Paige, seeing how many players she can hit with the EMP. The bomb comes out, but it's not really going to find anything. Placed in a very awkward position. Paige able to find something, though, sort of using it to create some space. EZC
Oh,
finds the second one. They're using ultimates to create the space here, and it's a great job by the Cats of just zoning out the Pusheens, denying them of anything. They use 3 ultimates, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They still have 2 built up for the final fight. The Pusheens didn't use any, though, so they may have a chance to restabilize, but Bronx, or Rebro actually getting sort of staggered out on point. That's not really a good look. Gets stunned out of the remake, too. No, you
oh,
don't hate to see that, but Mikey, while that's happening, finds a pick onto Paige.
we've got a Nano Boost onto Purple Jesus on the ball. Etc. is trying to zone off the point with his high noon, but there's so much in his face that he might die. It's looking good.
Bomb's not really going to be able to find anything. The Dry Blade from Mikey may be online right here to find players, and yes, it will. It finds 1 and 2. It's the picks they need. They utilize ults to sort of claim the objective here, and they're able to take it very, very easily with their ultimates. But now, none of them have ult percent over 50%. That means they have to take these next at least 1 to 2 fights completely dry. And with ults coming online for the Cats here, I'm wondering if they can even hold this point.
Yeah, I mean, the Pusheens went into that fight with a severe ult advantage, and the fact that they lost that is actually pretty detrimental. Now they're kind of set on an even playing field with ultimates, even behind on ultimates compared to the compared to the Cats.
Yeah, we'll see if being behind on ultimates is the difference. But right now, Papa Triste being the difference, finding that singular pick. Unfortunately, though, Transflight gets taken out. That's going to force out the Transcendence from Papa Triste to sort of stall the point, but that's not going to be able to find anything. That's the only issue. And Mikey able to find stuff very, very easily, supported by Nathan. The DMAC comes through as well, and now there's just a few players on point just basically trying to stabilize, but you can't even stabilize in a situation like this. Rally from Transflex, but they're not even going to be able to touch again, and the Pusheens win. Very, very close map, but I mean, Pusheens staying consistent and staying on the point the entire time just to close it out.
The Cats are playing this so unbelievably close. I really want to see them win these next maps and close them out precisely. Now, the deciding factor for why they lost, I mean, honestly, Mikey getting some picks, yes,
Oh
that
my,
was wonderful.
oh my gosh.
Holy, 89%. I've never seen anything that high.
I mean, Bronx almost got 69. If Bronx got
That
69,
would
then
have been
you
nice.
have to, yeah, that'd be so much better. But like, oh my gosh, Mikey.
Mikey, he especially thrived in the mid fights when people had used all their abilities, and especially when Purple Jesus has gone in, taken CC, and taken attention away from him. Purple Jesus and Mikey is a scary duo on that ball and Genji.
That's absurd. Like, that's just like crazy to me how much one player can do when you have, 12 players fighting. And it's just
What's
one player just dominating in like every regard. That's absolutely insane.
Now we're getting some
Wow.
comp swaps here from the Cats. They're putting a Page out and they're putting in Transflect for tank and Ox on DPS. Do you have any thoughts on these swaps?
I like this personally. I think it puts everybody back in their typical roles. And even though Paige was very, very good in the Sombra, we never saw any like massive, massive EMPs that were able to like change a fight. I think we maybe only saw that once on like Sanctuary. So
Yeah.
I think on if they're calling Numbani as the map and Paige the mastermind behind everything, behind the scenes, is probably going to be able to, sort of deny a potential brawl comp. The only worry I have about Numbani is it feels like it just enables Mikey even more. That's the one scary thing.
Yeah, I think the idea behind Numbani might be enabling etc. on Widow, but I don't even know if etc. wants to play Widow at all. I mean, Mikey on Genji is just going to be on him the entire time he plays.
I mean, last time ETC got a crazy 3-piece on Numbani. But
That's
like,
kinda what I was thinking, right? Like,
yeah.
Etcetera can do a lot when he has the resources that he needs, and, he just has that space. He can do a lot on Widowmaker. But Mikey on Genji, he can take all the space that Etcetera has and just, throw it to the wayside, because Genji in your face means you can't do anything as Widow. It's pretty much as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the question of will the nano blades be able to hit every single time, and thus far they have been. So it feels risky. Yeah.
Etcetera did shut him down on the Cassidy.
Oh yeah, true, true, true. That one time where ETC got the advantage there. So maybe they have some master plan to shut down Mikey that we don't even know about. That they're just gonna pull out of their hat. Maybe I don't know if the cat's out of the bag on that one yet, but I mean, they should be able to, maybe do something big. I'm assuming they have a reason for picking Numbani. I know they do have a little bit of practice playing it in week 1, but I think it's a risky choice.
Well, we're almost ready to go in here. No, Nuttier and Bronx. Is Nuttier gonna be playing Lucio here? I mean, both of them have been playing Brig Zen, I believe.
Nutty has been all over the place. I feel like just trying to experiment with whatever like player and support he has played. I've seen him on Lucio, I've seen him on Ana, I've seen him on BAP, I've seen him basically on any character that he needs to be on. So I don't think there's really a place where Nuttier doesn't isn't able to do well because the game
He's a
knowledge
great
there.
hyperflex.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has so much
Yep.
game knowledge that I think it's just it just works no matter what.
And immediate Widow pick from Etc. Now, this is kind of what I was expecting on this Numbani attack. Hopefully, one pick can just open things up, especially if he just hits a nice shot onto Mikey and they can deny the res. That makes a huge difference in turning the fight into the cat's favor. Now, both teams mirroring the Echo as well. Although Ox versus Mikey. Mikey is also known for his Echo. I think Ox might have to play a little bit safer. He won't have to, go a little too hard to try and kill Mikey. He just has to kind of match him.
Just has to match him, and he also has the advantage that ETC. I'm assuming the Pusheens probably expect the ETC on Widow, so you gotta inherently play safe, even if you're Mikey, even if you have the Bronx pocket the entire way around. But I think it will be the battle of the Echoes until a Widowmaker pick has been found. But no picks out just yet, and it looks like the first fight will be starting off. The first pick does come in from Rebro onto Pusheen, and when the pocket Mercy goes down, I mean, your entire team sort of collapses if you build the team solely around that, and that means the cats have to reset in this situation and get out. ETC not even able to find a pick, gets taken out by Mikey there.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see a little more passive. I think, yeah, that Echo Mercy dying early does kind of put a damper on things. Even Echo Mercy being alive puts a lot of pressure on their backline if you can get them in a correct spot. Oh, nice pick from Etc. onto Nathan. Gets rezzed up though. That's kind of what you expect from playing the Mercy.
I mean, that's the scary thing about this. It's so based on Etc. finding multiple picks, not just one pick. They need to find multiple picks.
Well,
I mean,
that's two, that's three.
Oh my gosh, ETC! It's like he read my mind there and knows exactly what to do in this situation. I mean, ETC doing a great job, and now Oaks on the point, just creating as much space as possible. They're gonna be able to cap the point, and I should have known not to doubt ETC on Widowmaker. It's just so powerful.
It's only a matter of time. You just give Etc. the time and the space, he'll make it work. Fortunately, immediately picked off by Rebro, but you wanted that pick. I understand.
Wanted the montage, and maybe gonna get res for maybe some more potential clip moments from Etc. here. I mean, it feels like you never know because they're always in the background able to do stuff. Flux gonna come out though from the Sigma there, and it looks like the feed is only lighting up blue in the favor of the Pusheens. Bomb attempted.
Looks like I mean, the Pusheens are really low on ultimates now, only coming up on a Valkyrie from the Mercy, and the Cats are coming up. I mean, they have Valkyrie, they have Duplicate, they have both tank ults as well to push through this small corner.
I don't know why the Pusheens really invested so much in that singular moment. It felt like risky, especially when you're holding them so close to their respawn point. They have so much power to sort of get back in and recontest, and Oaks recontesting here in an amazing way. Bronx finds the res on Rebro, but they still have the advantage. Bomb's gonna come out as well from Transflex, not gonna be able to find anything, unfortunately, and the Pusheen allows the ETC res, and that's actually going to be able to find some. The fight's going both ways, but the Cats are making progress on the point. Still using a lot of ultimates for this, though, and really sort of pushing the Pusheens back just with the 1x1 ults. But the question is, when the Pusheens get an ult and decide to use one like they are now, will they be able to get the picks back? And looks like they will. Rebro actually finds 3. Oh my gosh.
Wonderful stuff. That's the kind of stuff that you want to see from your second tank pick. When you have Purple Jesus on the tank, you kind of expect him to do all the work, but Rebro has definitely proven that wrong, showing his worth in this league.
How did they get Rebro and Mikey? I have no idea. That's such a dominant, like, main line. It's just so powerful for the Pusheens. And looks like the swaps are gonna come through. The Cats opting to go a little bit more brawl-like for the competition, and it seems to be working out right now as Rebro does get picked out. Purple Jesus with a whole hog isn't gonna be able to find anything, but maybe the Deadeye from Nathan will. I don't believe it will either, though. It's only gonna demech Transflight there, and now seems to be an advantage in the favor of the Cats. Does get the bomb for Mikey there, and even though they're not able to find one with the D.Va, they are going to be able to find one onto Transflect. Nobody's pushing the cart, and it looks like the Cats are going to be able to, or the Pusheens are going to be able to restabilize.
I think that, once again, kind of came to ult usage. I mean, Nathan got a pick onto the D.Va mech really early with the high noon, and then Mikey goes in with the duplicate on the D.Va. And really, Cats didn't have anything to respond to that, although they are coming up on a lot soon.
They are coming up on a lot of ults, but I mean, with a minute 20 left on the time bank here, like, I don't know if they're gonna have enough that quick. They do have the Earth Shadow, they do have the duplicate, and they do have the nano that they can kind of complement with all of these ults, as well as the other 3 ults sort of being built up simultaneously. But I mean, there are ults to counter it, such as the whole hog utilized by Purple Jesus, but no, it gets canceled out. Oaks in the kill feed finding some, but Purple Jesus and Mikey just doing a great job of denying it. Bronx goes for the res, but no, not going to be able to find it in that situation. That may have cost the Pusheens a lot of ults online for the Cats, but they're getting picked out. Both the DPSs for that team are going to be fully taken out there. Catpack making the switch over to the Winston, and the car's still not being moved.
Yeah, and although it seems like, I mean, the Cats did get the initial picks in that fight, Mikey responded with 2 of his own, and Purple Jesus as well. Now, more ults being used on the side of the Cats. They need to get this checkpoint here.
They do need to get this checkpoint. The Visor not really able to find anything except for the cancel on the duplicate. That's going to deny almost all the ultimates. Transflect able to remech in this situation, and does have bomb sort of to contest the point here, but it's all going to be about this contest and what they can do. They're putting a lot of pressure onto the Pusheens, and it's going to amount to something at this point. I mean, they have so much focus, and they're going to be able to hit the checkpoint, but only with a minute 30 on the time bank, and I'm doubtful of a full cap in this situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could always have a great ult rotation. And we'll see what the Cats can do here. They are on the Monkey now instead of the Reinhardt. Perhaps changing circumstances due to the map.
Bomb uses on the background to find one, but it's just Rebro and Mikey in the feed finding picks. Oaks does get the shutdown, but the Cats have already been completely destabilized, and now it's basically one fight left for the Cats. They have no ults, maybe duplicate if Oaks is able to build it, and it just looks like it's a wall that's too hard to push through here.
Yeah, this is gonna come down to individual player performance. We need someone like Etc. or Ox to make a play, perhaps get a pick onto one of the supports. But chances are slim for the Cats right now to full cap this.
Chances are slim, but never impossible at this point in time. Nuttier using Amplification Matrix, gonna Fire Strike down and not gonna be able to find it. Great job for the Cats for sort of just kiting back. They do have Cat that can make the switch onto the Reinhardt. They're gonna be able to play a bit more Brawl, and they're gonna be able to activate a few ultimates in this fight. And the ultimates might be able to win it out here. The Visor complemented with the duplicate, and now they have the Velk to sort of back it up. The feed is all red at this point. Rebro left to sort of just stall out the point, but not gonna be able to find anything in the bomb. But pushed back by Kathek there. They're just denying space, denying time. Brock's not even going to be able to find the revive, and I may have spoke too soon. The Cats are able to pull a cap with no time, but they do it.
That was amazingly played by the Cats. So, Etc. on that flank didn't overextend at all. He just played it. He got his Visor, and then he got two once the Cats could push back in from the window that the Pusheens had placed. That was good patience from the DPS and good understanding that they needed to make a play, and they did. They built their ultimates without trying too hard and feeding, and it got them a point that was supposedly really hard to cap for them.
What really surprised me about the Cats there is the adaptability that they had. Like, Cathect, ETC, etc., and Oaks didn't really switch up that much, but Cathect and etc. were just able to switch at the exact right times when it mattered most, and able to find the picks that they needed. So I think this adaptability from their team is, in my opinion, the standout for their team here.
It's really serving them well for this match. Something I also wanted to point out, on that attack, Cathect and Ox. Ox now on the DPS, he picked Echo, but he copied the Reinhardt, got nanoed, charged at their Reinhardt, and then Cathect charged at his own will. So when the charge was counterpinned, Cathect charged him anyway. Like double charge at the Reinhardt. Like, how do you stop that?
I feel like this synergy is so good that, you know, the Cats should be awarded with like at least one map win by the end of the 5 weeks, but unfortunately that's not how it works. They need to really show up here, and they really need to deny the potential for Nano Blade from Mikey. As you can see, I mean, they're building it slowly but surely, but they need to win fights before they sort of deny anything. There, the pick from ETC may be able to help with that, and the Cats are set up very good. They have still high ground control. Mikey is able to get up and contest high ground, but the maneuverability from Ox and also ETC just holding down corners and ensuring that they're not even able to find any presence on the point has been completely denying them there. A little bit of a tank battle on high ground just to see who can win it. It looks like Purple Jesus and Rebo have at least taken the corner, but no, just to say that Rebro gonna get demaxed, and Mikey gonna be able to find one onto Ox though, so it's a pretty even fight thus far.
Oh, that was a good sleep from Nuttier. Ox has been playing that flank creeper. Although the Cats, or yeah, the Pusheens just tried to dive the backline with just Purple Jesus, and he ended up getting punished for that. Ox is constantly on the flank, and it takes some pressure off of the front line from the Cats, as well as gives Etc. more space to do his job and get ult charge for that Visor.
Speaking of the Visor comes out, gets nanoed. That means it's a very, very glass cannon-like Visor, but still able to do stuff with it, as Cathect also putting in some serious work, and now the fight's basically won for the Cats at this point, but Cathect investing the Primal Rage anyways to sort of deny them really anything, and that's gonna be just a clean fight win. But I mean, only really nothing has been invested for the Pusheens just yet, and if I'm the Cats and I have seen no ults used this far, you gotta be expecting the Nano Blade very, very soon.
Well, honestly, 2 minutes on first point isn't too bad. I wouldn't be too upset if I were the Cats and we held the Nano Blade to this far down the line.
Nanoblade's gonna come out though. The question is, what is it gonna
Wow.
be able to find? And it finds a lot, but no, Transfleck actually manages to shut it down, trades his life for it, and it might be a life that is going to be lost for the Cats on the point. They are gonna be able to stall out, but they're gonna be completely down in numbers. ETC getting swarmed on by the tanks of the Pusheens and eventually taken out there, but I mean, they're able to stall out for a little bit. Oh, actually, as I say that, Transfleck gets back on the point. Oaks still doing a lot of pick damage there. Oaks actually finds Purple Jesus. Are the Cats gonna be able to recontest this?
Chances are slim. Looking at this, no. The Pusheens are still gonna cap. I'm surprised that the Cats still tried to win that fight. They invested Rally, they invested Bomb to try and stop that Nano Blade. At the end, the Bomb did catch the Nano Blade. But honestly, if I'm the Cats, I'm wishing that I had that Rally right now.
The Rally could do a lot in this situation. Maybe, I mean, they knew they were going to lose anyways. They might be able to build it up for the end of point B here, but I mean, still a lost fight for the Cats. They have to regroup. Capex was staggered a little bit out in that situation, so it's going to allow the Pusheens to get a lot of progress, and point 2 was really where the Cats were stopped in this situation, so we'll see if they're going to be able to put a stop to the Pusheens here. Ultimate out from Reaper, able to find a few picks, and now the Pusheens are only 4 strong. They have to retreat. They've gotten the cart a little bit around the corner, but they're not going to be able to really make any progress without their main tank in Purple Jesus. So they're just going to hide out. They're going to reset and maybe play a little bit more for ultimates.
That was a great play from Ox. Just getting onto support, getting a pick on that, and then letting his team deal with the monkey, and putting his trust on the Brig player on his team to keep everyone alive. And Pusheen did her job when that Primal Monkey was back there.
Bomb was invested by Rebro, and Purple Jesus off that was able to find some picks, but Transflect also investing their own bomb, able to find Nuttier yet again in this situation, but it seems like every time a bomb goes off, the Pusheens are just able to operate in that space and in that time, and operate they do. They are coming into point C with so much more time than the Cats do, but you know, final point is where all time banks go to die, and even though the Pusheens have the ult advantage, if the Cats are able to show up here and cycle ult in the correct way, they could be able to come up with something big.
Genuinely, I think if they play it right, they could just win with Rally. I don't know. But if Bronx uses his own Rally, yeah, I think
Both rallies used, just
it's
like
gonna
you
be
said.
hard for the Cats. It's gonna be hard.
Complemented with a Denai and the Nano and the Visor, like, it's gonna be almost impossible for the Cats. Pusheen not even able to stay alive with the rally here, and they may be able to get back for a half a contest in this situation, but with Transflect fully demeched and also a little bit staggered off the team, they're gonna be coming in practically one by one at this situation and give the Pusheens a way to set up however they want. Ryan comes in, able to get the touch. Immortality Field is also out, but for Propatrice to sort of deny some space. Ox able to find a singular pick, and they're going to be able to stall for time, but they need to find some amazing time in this situation. The bomb on the point is going to be able to seal the deal for the Pusheens. Now all the Cats can do is hope that they're able to hold.
Yeah, I mean, I said that the Cats could maybe win with just Rally. I neglected to mention that Pusheens had their Rally up as well. And ended up that Pusheens used it first. And in that case, Pusheens just all pressed Q. And they pushed all the way to the end with time. I think the Cats are looking to either play to draw. I think that is their best option. Because I don't think they can win this map anymore.
Yeah, there's not a way that they can, if I recall the rules of hybrid correct. Again, I'm a little bit new to this whole Overwatch thing, so you might know a little bit more than me, but...
Yeah, I should know, but I'm
no, they have
pretty
to play
sure.
for draw. The time is 0 on the Cats timer, right?
Yeah.
So they have to play for draw, yeah. So, I mean, all they can do is draw, and... I mean, the one thing that's good is the Cats are always doomed with their maps being close, so maybe it's just gonna go to a draw because they're doomed with every map being close anyways?
We could
Maybe?
go, maybe we see a map 6 zinger. That
That'd
could
be
be, that would be really long. You know, we'll have to
eh,
see.
I mean, these Gopherwatch Leagues maps will always be very, very long, especially if you have a team like the Cats and the Pusheens both playing in the maps. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to be here for an amazing and spectacular entire game series here. Unless the Pusheens are able to do something here, they could gain a 2-0 lead at this situation. And it looks like they're going to be able to just roll through the Cats' initial lineup. Both the tanks are down for the Cats. Ox also falls as well. ETC's on the point to contest, backed up by really nothing, and I think this is just gonna be over.
Dude, good plays from Nathan and Rebro to just open up that fight, take out Ox, and then walk in with the space that Purple Jesus made. Two standout players that maybe hadn't got enough recognition at the beginning of the season. I think they really played their heart outs on this map.
Yep. So that will be the game in favor of the Pusheens. We get to see a little bit of play of the game action from Rebro here. Yeah, Rebro absolutely popping off. I think one of the players who is so much value for their SR and also just a standout tank player to sort of complement somebody like Purple Jesus, who, I mean, we haven't talked about it enough, and he's already got a match MVP, but also a standout tank player for the Pusheens. So again, another clean map in the favor of the Pusheens. And now, what are the Cats going to do to respond to this?
Well, I think genuinely, I think their support line on the Cats has been really solid. At least the synergy between the two, they've been keeping each other alive really well through a lot. One thing I'd like to see a little bit more is from the Cats. Is perhaps trying to deny Mikey space rather than trying to make your own angles. I feel like when you're playing against a player like Mikey, you kind of need to swallow your pride and just play with your team and deny the angles that Mikey is taking on the Echo or on the Genji, and deny that value that he's guaranteed to get as a high ranked player in this league.
And then also understanding, like, if they have Nano Blade and they pick two, that it's a lost fight and you need to reset, I think that'll help them a lot too, especially on a map like Dorado. If you lose a couple fights, that's all right as long as you're winning the majority of them. You're still going to be able to put a stop to quite literally the push of the Pusheens and still be able to win out maps. It's just understanding when you can lose and then winning in every other situation.
Yeah, something I haven't seen a lot is especially on the fights when the Pusheens use Nano Blade, is a little bit more trigger discipline on their ultimates. I think sometimes they've been having a Nano Blade on them and they're gonna lose the fight. They don't really have a transcendence or a beat that can kind of counter that blade. And they're using too many ultimates to try and counter it, and they just end up dying with them or dying after using them with no value, and it just kind of throws the ult economy in the Pusheen's favor even more.
Here's what I think we're going to see here. Next map is Dorado. And despite the Cats' record, despite everything, every curse that has happened for them, they are currently undefeated on Dorado. They've played it twice and they've won it twice. Feels like their comfort pick here as an escort map. The first map it was picked for them, and the second map they were able to win it against the Frogs. And I think this map really enables basically everybody on their team to do exactly what they want to. And it's a question of, are they going to be able to disable people like Purple Jesus and Mikey on this map?
Absolutely, and they're putting in Paige on the support now. Paige is in for Papa Triste. So we're gonna have to see what kind of comps they're gonna be running with Pushin and Paige. Um, I would expect, as Pushin usually plays Brig, right? Am I wrong?
Yes, I believe Pushin is Brig slash main tank player. I've also seen them on Lucio, I think.
And Paige looks like plays a good amount of Mercy, good amount of main support as well. So maybe we're gonna be seeing a little bit of the double main support, maybe like a Brig Mercy. And in the Mercy, I mean, they're probably looking to pocket etc. on maybe an Ashe.
No,
I know
Widowmaker get
etc. He
value
hits
over
those
here?
shots. Widowmaker does get value on this point, and if they choose to maybe like run a Mercy, they also have the option to pocket Ox. Etc. and Ox, both good solid DPS that either one, whatever you choose, will do work with the pocket.
Speaking of solid DPSs,
But
though,
maybe
switch
I'm
between Nathan and Purple Jesus for the Pusheens. We gotta talk about that as well.
Oh yeah, so Purple Jesus on the DPS now. Now that's interesting. Last time that we saw that was when the Pusheens went against who was it again? It was
It's
I'm
their
not
week
gonna
one
remember the
match.
team names. I'm not gonna remember the teams. Um,
Welsh
Either
Wales,
way, Welsh
maybe?
Whales.
Maybe it
Yes,
was that was their
yes.
week one match.
It was the Welsh Whales. Purple Jesus went on the Ash, absolutely took over the lobby. And when you have Mikey and Purple Jesus, Mikey maybe on like a more of a flex DPS, and Purple Jesus, hopefully, I want to see another hit scan map for Purple Jesus. I mean, that could be really difficult to shut down, but here's the thing. Now, when you don't have Purple Jesus on the tank, uh, you have Nathan and Rebro, who are both solid, but they're not going to be able to make the same amount of space that maybe Purple Jesus can. So it's going to be up to the DPS to kind of make their own space and kind of play more individually rather than playing off immense plays that maybe Purple Jesus could make on the ball or other tanks.
And I wonder, like, I mean, if Purple Jesus is on Ash. I mean, there is a pocket possibility, but it seems like they have been shifting a little bit away from pocketing unless Bronx is in. So it seems like they're not maybe going for a strategy like that and maybe just going for the individual DPS plays to sort of carry through the team. Either way, Rebro has been standout throughout the season and on in this match that we're seeing, the official week 3 cat fight is what we're calling it here. But Rebo has been a standout tank for their team, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sort of takes over basically whatever tank role they need and sort of fills the shoes that Purple Jesus had. Maybe not completely, but maybe enough to shut down Transflect and Cathect.
Well, I would actually expect Rebro to stay on kind of his comfort picks here, and maybe Nathan's going to be going on the main tank. I think taking Rebro off of his own main role and putting him on a main tank is kind of going to be putting your team at a disadvantage when you have Rebro who is so proficient at the Sigma, at the Diva, and just kind of asking him, "Hey man, just can you go like main tank for this one cuz we want Purple Jesus to play DPS?" I mean, you're kind of kicking your team down a notch. I feel like keeping everyone on their comfort picks, especially when you have people that are like already going on to off rolls, would be best. I would expect Rebro to stay on his comfort picks here,
That's true.
but
That's true.
I could be wrong.
I guess we'll have to wait and see until the match actually starts here. But any other expectations for Dorado as a map choice for either of these teams?
Well, very high ground heavy map. Very prominent with dive compositions. I would expect maybe Cathect and Transflect. Now, I don't know exactly the hero pool of Transflect on tank, but it looks like he plays a little bit of everything. And Cathect very much also kind of a little bit of everything. He's playing some ball this season. So, I mean, maybe we're looking at like a ball comp from the Cats. It's hard to say,
And I guess that
etc.
is the whole like one of these one of the rounds are gonna be on offense, one of the rounds are gonna be on defense. So obviously
Yeah.
some comps work differently on each one, but yeah.
Yep. Etc. does have a lot of flexibility to play kind of what he wants on the hit scan. He could play Ash, he could play Widow, he could play Cassidy. And Ox can kind of fill around that, a very flexible DPS player to pair with, etc., who's more of a specialist on that, click head hit scan role.
I think it's the question of the adaptability for the cats. Will it be able to sort of beat out this sort of flipped around Pushin's lineup? That is the question
Yeah,
that
and
we
I
have to
think
ask.
it could throw them for a loop. I think, hmm, if Purple Jesus opts for the Ash, I think etc. wins those.
Think Etc. wins those?
I think etc. wins those, especially if he goes Widow and just outranges him. If
That's
Purple
true.
Jesus doesn't have, he definitely has a lot of tank experience, and he's a solid DPS. But I don't know if Purple Jesus is gonna ego, if he's gonna ego etc. and try and take him out, or if he's gonna try and play it smart and just avoid the sightlines. Now Purple Jesus on the Cassidy, not what I was expecting, but it's gonna be good in countering that, at least flashing that ball and shooting down Ox on that Echo. So good read from him. Mikey on the Genji once again. They're gonna try and build another Nano Blade, win like every other fight. Pretty standard stuff from the Pusheens.
A very standard stuff from the Pusheens. I mean, we're basically seeing the composition that they're running on the previous map, but you know, a little bit flipped around roles for Purple Jesus and Nathan. So we'll have to see, this sort of test how strong Nathan is on the main tank role, and holding up pretty well thus far, able to push Transflect out the high ground, but they're gonna have to make a bigger stop than that if they want to defeat the Cats in this brutal cat fight that we're seeing right now. But some great placement of the bubble here and some great picks already coming out as Rebro gets the D-Mech onto Transflect.
Though Mikey did get punished for his dive in and etc. Oh my! Punishes Frosty and headshots Nathan on the jump, etc. Again, this is kind of exactly why you pick the Widow here. You open up this first point so free for your team. He's actually playing some of the best Overwatch that we've seen him play.
But literally just as that happens, Purple Jesus also finds two. I mean, you can see Purple Jesus and Mikey just operating as a duo. They're not falling down, but you need to have a solid tank line if you really want to progress. You can see the tank line for the Cats is very, very solid. Even though Catholic did fall in that fight, it didn't really matter at the end of the day because Transflex was able to hold down point, and Transflex seems to be getting the majority of heals in this composition. Well, Catholic just plays as a ball to sort of deny the space. Infrared sight's gonna come out from ETC.
Etc. is on one of the hardest flanks possible on this map. He is quite literally inside the Pusheens.
Huge bomb from Transflex. Also, I actually was looking at the map and I thought that Etc. was on defense for a second because I just was so confused by that Widowmaker position, but I guess that's just the Etc. difference at this point in time. Like,
it's the chaos at that point. They saw Etc. already proved that he can click their heads, right? Now, when he does stuff, he demands attention. Even if he's not hitting shots, he already proved that he can. He can demand attention and he can demand space just by looking down particular lanes.
That's crazy. Maybe this is why they have not lost Dorado. I mean, they're just so dominant. Of course, we gotta talk about the fact that 6 ults online for the Pusheens here. They're gonna be able to stabilize, regroup, and maybe cycle out these ults. But ETC finds Nuttier. You cannot Nano Blade without your Ana, and they're not gonna be even able to find much at this point in time, just because their Ana is just gonna be staggered out here. They have to wait to really contest this until the last moment, and that's allowing the Cats to find a lot of space here.
Now, both the tanks are shoving themselves into Etc's face to try and deny him from getting any more picks, but etc. kind of getting support from his team, and he's kind of lurking on the sidelines now. Picks Nuttier again.
It's like every pick that they need to find, they're going to find. The bomb goes out by Rebro. It's actually going to find Paige as well, but the counter bomb from Transflect, I believe, not going to be able to find, or not gonna be able to find. Oh, that's gonna be the duplicated bomb there from their team. Not really gonna be able to find anything in this situation. All the picks seem to be mostly going in favor of the Cats. I know that Paige did go down early, but they
etc. Once again, I mean, he's kind of deadlifting these points. He's getting crucial picks, and the Pusheens haven't been able to Nano Blade yet. Only just now coming out at the end of the point.
Finally, Nano Blade is enabled at this point. Finds Ox there, and I don't even know if he's going to find anything else at this point in time. One pick isn't going to be enough to fully win out this fight, and it's going to allow sort of a stabilization potentially from the Cats on this point. You see Ox just trying to clear some space. Ball, Kratek just dropping in, just try and do anything they can, but maybe finally the rally from Frosty is going to be enough to deny them. It looks like it is. Mikey finally takes out ETC, but actually ETC from the grave takes out Mikey in return. That's gonna be just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just a slight little Venomine trolling. Mikey's just maybe just a little bit of mental damage, but nothing too bad for the team in general. Now, looks like the Cats are trying to take top right high ground control, and the Pusheens are holding on to that pretty stoutly. Etc. does have the option to flank around hard left and maybe even get a pick from this position. He's almost across the map to the point where the damage fall off might even reduce his damage as Widow. Something that you don't see very much.
You usually don't see that, but from that angle, able to put pressure onto the support line. And you can see if the supports are the only one on the point, you can't really do anything. Nuttier does get the sleep onto Kathek, and the entire team is there to sort of back up Kathek in this situation. But Kathek's mines find Nuttier also from the grave, but I believe that the Pusheens are going to be able to stabilize in this point. Maybe, but the Cat's still trying to take the fight here. Bombs are invested as well, but no, Ox is going to get unduplicated there, unfortunately, and now it's a very, very scrappy fight. Valkyrie is invested by Paige. They want to win this fight so bad, but the question is, are they going to be able to?
Now this is looking very, very scrappy at this point. Ults are coming out left and right. We've got people on the right side now. It looks like everyone has gotten the memo and gone right side to the coast. It looks like Pusheens are getting a little forced out, but Purple Jesus does get the pick on the Pusheen. It's still going back and forth in a way.
At this point, in my opinion, like, what can the Cats do? They have no ultimates online, and Mikey has Blade. Even if it is a dry blade, it's still going to hit for a lot when it utilized here. And my question is, do they even really have a touch? Oh no, they have Kathek on the point to sort of supplement the control here. ETC trying to find anything, but no, gets shut down by Mikey. That was really their one chance in this game. Kathek getting absolutely denied as well in this situation. Paige able to find the res onto ETC, but with Rally being utilized by Frosty, they're just able to deny anything that the Cats have.
I think you look at what Etc. was doing on Widowmaker. You think to yourself, yeah, he could have stayed Widow and gotten picks, but in my mind, especially once they start running the Tracer Genji, I mean, and they start marking him really, really hard, I think it was maybe time for a swap for Etc. They made it much more difficult for Etc. to get picks than he was getting in the first and second half of this map.
I mean, the teams that Etc. played against in the first two maps of Dorado didn't really have a player that was able to punish Etc. on the Widow as much as somebody like Mikey could. Because once Mikey closes distance, or once Mikey says, let me just activate, you know, Blade real quick, maybe get the nano from our Ana, ETC has really one shot, and then it's basically over. So he has to hit that one shot, or it's game, and at that point, you might as well swap.
And it looks like he's opting for the Widow again. My guess is his mindset is, we were winning when Etc. was getting picks, or when I was getting picks, if he's thinking this. So I'm gonna keep playing Widow, and I'm just gonna play better. Now, play better is really subjective. I think Etc. is just gonna need to, especially if they run like the really divey kind of characters into him, he's gonna need to play kind of more spy gameplay, but it looks like they're running like a soldier and a Widowmaker. So maybe Etc. has some space to pop off, maybe diff the other DPS.
I think this is personal between ETC and Etc. And Purple Jesus at this point. Like, it's Widow versus Widow. Oh wait, no, it's Purple Jesus finally makes the swap off, as I mean, Etc. already getting a little bit of value on the Widowmaker, but Card's being pressed right now, and with a character like Tracer able to put a lot of pressure onto Etc. As you can see, right as I say that, Etc. already falls, and Etc. can do basically everything flawlessly as Widowmaker, but it's the question of, is the comp the problem at this point? It might just be, but I mean, the comp isn't the problem for the tank line of the Cats there, is they're able to find a bunch of picks and sort of turn this fight complete 180 on its head. Oaks just doing basically everything. Transflex there to back up with Cathect as well. It doesn't matter if they don't have etc. at this point because, I mean, they're just carrying.
I mean, yeah, that really subverted my expectations of how that fight was gonna go. I was sure after those two picks that the Cats were gonna go down, but they played it smart, played it a little slow, and they actually ended up having the Pusheens make mistakes and punishing them.
Couple ultimates also coming online in very shortly for the Cats, the Minefield, and as well as the Widow and the Diva ult coming fairly close, but also almost online for both these teams. So I have to see which ones are used the second they get them and which ones are more timed out, planned out. Nathan actually finds etc. and this is scary in my opinion because they're not really able to do anything with their DPS line completely taken out by Nathan. It feels like everything in the Pusheens comp there is made to counter this lineup from the Cats, and it's so hard to be dominant against just a setup this well. They didn't even use any ultimates, and they're just able to create space and control.
Yeah, I was expecting the Cats to kind of use their ultimate advantage, but unfortunately both DPS got isolated by Nathan on the Monkey. Primaling in on the Cats tanks right now, actually. Rest of the team comes to follow up, but etc. gets a pick onto Nuttier while no one is looking.
Get over here and heal up.
But like, does the pick really matter? I mean, the cart's still getting pushed up. The team is yet to truthfully regroup in this situation. Kath making the swap onto the Hog here, and they do have the high ground control, but in terms of control of the point, I mean, Pusheens have, it feels like complete control, etc. Finding another pick, maybe a little bit more substantial one at this point. Bomb is invested here by Rebro and able to sort of reset up in this positioning, and it looks like that might be the only ultimate they need. Ox just in as Winston, able to find one with Primal, and even though the Pusheen support line is falling out, it feels like all of the Cats are just falling out one by one.
It's lock fight territory here, and it looks like Ox is gonna get picked out, but not without taking out Frosty first. Etc. is in the back line, but he's getting dueled out by etc. By Purple Jesus and by Mikey. Cats are in dire straits right now.
It's very dire for the Cats. They are able to place both their tanks on the point and try to stabilize. Ox gets back as well. Going to be able to disrupt Mikey on the high ground. Finds the pick onto Mikey. That might be big if you want to sort of stabilize this point. Rebro back in mech already though, and able to shut down the tank line of the Cats there with the help of Purple Jesus, and the fight is basically going completely in the favor of the Pusheens, but Paige back with the rally might be able to do something big, just dancing around on the point, diving and weaving, getting surrounded, getting eaten alive by the composition of the Pusheens here. Bomb comes out, gonna be denied in every way, shape, and form. Transflight goes down, and that's gonna be game, set, and match. 3-0 for the Pusheens.
Holy. Rally, what really was key there. It seemed that Frosty had started the fight with Rally and used it. Unfortunately, the Cats Rally just was a few percentage off, so they couldn't respond with it until it was a little too late. And the Pusheens already had a full armor stack on their entire team. It was almost a lost fight before it even started from that Rally.
The Cats unfortunately fall to 0-3. I had high hopes for the Cats on this match to at least pull a few maps from the Pusheens, if not win, but unfortunately it was a clean 3-0 sweep for the Pusheens. And I guess final thoughts on sort of like the strategies both teams used and the potential future for the Pusheens and the Cats.
Well, genuinely, I think etc. exceeded my expectations on how well he played in this map. You kind of got to take that And unfortunately, yes, you did lose, but you gotta, you take the W's that you can get. Etc. did fantastic. And as I expected, he is, number 3 pickup overall in the draft. But also, as I expected, Mikey coming up huge in these games, absolutely massive on the Genji, doing great work on the Echo. I didn't really see anything else other than Genji and Echo, although he may have done a couple of other swaps. But Mikey definitely, put the team on his back, even if he didn't need to, and really brought this 3-0 to fruition.
Yeah, and very, very promising for the Pusheens' future. But the one thing I'm worried about for the Cats here is it sort of feels like they may be completely screwed when in terms of playoff contention. Their next 2 matches are going to be against us, the Iceland Imps, me and Invictus, is what I'm phrasing, and then the Awesome Anglers, who have also been on top of their game. So it feels like it's so hard for them to sort of even bring out another win, or maybe even their first win here. Again,
Well,
going against players like that and teams like that.
you take what you can get from these losses. They definitely, they definitely had improved since these last games that they had played, the first two. I saw some great hints of team play where they were, even though they were down some, they were still able to clutch it up by playing smart and not feeding, which was really impressive, honestly. You don't see a lot of teams do that. Um, Speaking of MVPs, though,
Yes.
before everyone leaves the lobby,
Yes.
we don't wanna make everyone wait for too long.
It's just Nathan. Nathan's the only one left at this point in the lobby. So
Nathan is
I better
Nathan
hope
is alone.
he communicates if we don't want Nathan to be the MVP. But who do you think is MVP?
I don't wanna be basic and say Mikey, because Mikey's gonna do good in
Yeah.
every single game.
Yep.
Mikey, you did great. I wanna
Yeah.
give it to Rebro.
I agree. Honestly, I was gonna you took the words out of my mouth there. Because I mean, Mikey did amazing. I mean, Purple Jesus did amazing, but it feels like the standout performance at the end of the day was from Rebro. So Rebro is your MVP. We'll try to get him in some chat at some point in time. Rebro MVP. I don't know how this
At
is
the
going
end
to
of the
be
day, yeah,
communicated to Rebro,
at the end of the
but
day,
yeah.
MVP is based on, the most valuable player, for their SR. Rebro definitely exceeded expectations for the SR that he played at.
1,000,000%, yeah. What SR even is Rebro?
I think Rebro is around plat to low diamond, although he could have changed in the last few seasons.
That is a
So
good
he
question.
yeah, he's around mid diamond actually. Still, you don't see that kind of gameplay from, diamond tanks. He's definitely possibly like taking tips from Purple Jesus on the tank roll to kind of to take it into these games. I saw him lighting up the kill feed more than I would really expect him to do so. I mean, you would expect something like, fancy on the off tank to be throwing out great damage numbers and lighting up the kill feed that much. But when you have, a good value pick such as Rebro, a 3200 off tank, and he's doing that much for his team, I mean, that's value when you can have just a solid core team with not really that many weak links at all.
Okay, we are going to switch calls to the lounge. So quick swap over to the Gopherwatch League lounge. If anybody, oh, Rebo's in Gopherwatch League now for lounge now, so we're gonna hop over right now.
Hello.
Hello, Rebro. Congratulations on match MVP. We gotta say that first of all. Second off, to finish off Invictus's point, a good off tank in Gopherwatch League is, I think, the one of the most important things to have. And Rebro, you absolutely showed up today. So congratulations on MVP and congratulations on your match win.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I couldn't have done it without my team. Just great people all along. It's just a great culture. So I gotta give big ups PJ, Mikey, Nathan, Frosty, Bronx, Nadir. They're
Are you
all great guys.
Are you sure there isn't a gun to your head right now?
No, there's
coin
not.
toss.
I know you can see my name, but I'm being genuine here.
That's awesome. And something I was really curious about is, have you been under tutelage by Purple Jesus at all? Have you gotten coached by him at all? Have you been like
Uh,
asking questions?
so he's a great mentor. I've never really played competitive at all. I just play for fun, for the past 20 seasons. But him, especially playing with him last season, shadowing him, he's just made my life so easy. So I mean, yes, I have been quote unquote coached by him. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I believe everything. I believe everything you said about your team being a good culture. I can already see in the Gopherwatch League chat they're saying Rebro Grout, Rebro amazing player, all that good stuff. So I got the privilege to talk to Purple Jesus after you guys won your first match, and we gave him MVP. But now you're the MVP. And
Yeah,
any
surprised.
particular moments or strategies that you thought stood out, or like any like great calls that were made by Purple Jesus, whoever your in-game leader is from these maps today?
So PJ's definitely a main caller, but it's actually the whole team. Especially Nathan too. Nathan's a great shot caller, so I got to give ups to him. Um, I wasn't really honestly. I didn't think I would get this. I don't know what to say. I wasn't playing my best personally. That might be cocky or not, but it's just all around. I guess Numbani was a great point here, where I guess we would go in as a team that felt pretty coordinated there. So I guess Numbani and all.
Now, something I wanted to ask you as a team, the Pusheens, who do you think was giving you the most trouble and who was making the game the most difficult for you to win? Because even though this was a 3-0, there was some points where it seems like both teams were going to head to head.
Yeah, I gotta say Ox. I mean, he also played Diva too. He was in my brain the whole time. He was playing good peel, and he was doing a lot of burst damage. So crazy guy. And I know he's high rated, but yeah, he was really on my nerves this fight or this round.
All right, Invictus, do you have any other questions before we get into the final question?
Uh, Past that, no, I can't think of anything off the dome. So if you will, War.
All right, if you weren't the MVP of this map, Rebro, who from your team would you choose to be the MVP?
All right, well, I've hinted his name a lot. Certainly think he doesn't get enough credit. Genuinely, Nathan would be my MVP. That dude's ridiculous for his rating. He's the steal of the draft in my opinion.
All right,
That's actually unexpected. I expected something like giving props to Mikey or Purple
Oh,
Jesus,
well,
but I
everyone
missed out
knows
so
Mikey
much
popped
looking at
off. Mikey went
Nathan
crazy.
definitely, yeah, Nathan definitely did his job and more as a lower rated player. He was lighting up the kill feed as well as you. You were some of the two players I was looking at the most
Appreciate
throughout
it.
Numbani, especially.
and when you guys were
Yes.
both on tank line in Dorado too, like
Yes.
it felt like it was just you guys stabilizing the team there. So
Yeah.
amazing job with that.
You guys raised some questions. I was a bit worried going into the map, but you definitely quelled those. I mean, Nathan and Rebro, you definitely didn't seem like a weaker team, especially when you swapped to that.
For sure.
We should make it a rule that next time we can now nominate dynamic duos as the
Dynamic
Hey,
MVPs.
duos.
that would be
The,
nice.
the, the Nathan and
Well,
Rebro duo, trademark
That
it.
would actually that would be cool. I would be down.
I don't know how PJ feels about that, but
And then me and Invictus could get MVP for the Ash Mercy duo. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, it's
there you
it's
go.
perfect. It's perfect. Okay,
All
Great.
right, all
ship
right.
it, ship
Calm the
Uh,
it. All
ego.
right.
Focus on the grind war.
Oh, the ego's
well.
already too high. I'm sorry. Villain of Overwatch League. GG.
GG's.
All right.
GG's.
Thanks for having me, folks. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you very much for stopping by, Rebro. Congratulations again on your win. And yeah, awesome job there against the Cats. So thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy, folks.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right, and I believe that is going to be all for myself and Invictus. It surprises me if this is like Invictus's second time casting. The dude's a beast out there. You guys heard him. You guys saw his amazing color commentary, just chiming in at the exact right time. So, I mean, I'm gonna talk to him a lot about it afterwards. But he did an amazing job for being such a new caster. So I gotta say, huge shout out to Invictus for that, as well as RiddleDog on the prod. You know him, you love him, Mr. GWL himself. So thank you very much to both of you there. Invictus, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Uh, Nothing but GG's to both teams. hopefully everyone kind of resets the mental for the next games. We don't want to see people getting a little upset about these match outcomes, especially when they have gone so close on these maps. And thank you, War, for giving me props because I'm trying, but sometimes the words just don't come out.
The words come out just fine, and yeah, I mean, it's really easy in these situations to lose your words, lose your tongue a little bit, but just remember that no matter what, you're doing an amazing job out there. We love the Gopherwatch League community, and we love all the teams. Hopefully, no hard feelings. Hopefully, no ego. And in the words of whoever said it, I don't even know. Drop the ego. Focus on the
Focus on the
grind.
grind, FLA.
FLA. Oh my gosh. All right. That's going to be all for us. Me and Invictus. See you all later. Hope you all have an amazing and safe night. Goodbye.